Hi, I'm Alice.
And I'm Michelle.
I'm the mother, she's the daughter. We started our medical billing business back in 1994.
Yep. I, at that time, was working for a major insurance carrier, and I didn't mind what I did, but I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not a worker, so it was difficult for me to sit in a cubicle for 8 hours. I just had that spirit, and I wanted to get out there and do my own business. And I also was ready to start a family, and I did not want to be stuck in an office 8 hours a day. I wanted to be able to be with my children.
And I found back a long time ago that I couldn't work for anybody else. I had to work for myself. So I was in the process of leaving one of my businesses and starting another one. And Michelle and I decided that we would really like to work together.
Yep. I had a technical background in the claims and processing them and how that whole process worked. And Alice had a business background, and we thought that the combination would be great.
The only thing that we ran into was that we couldn't find any help in getting our business started. We really didn't know what to do to get started, how you got clients and things like that. So we really struggled.
Right. You had found one book back then that was written.
One book, which we were thrilled to find, but it wasn't a whole lot of information.
Right. And we also were able to find a bulletin board, and I don't even know if most of you people even know what they are. I hate to admit that I'm old enough that I do. But at that time, the internet was just starting to come out, and the bulletin board was like a DOS system of a forum. But you couldn't really even go back and look at other stuff. But you could get online and talk to other medical billers, and that's what we were looking for.
Really, it was very helpful for us just to be able to talk to other medical billers, and that's when we finally started getting our feet wet and getting started.
Right, but it was still very difficult, and we struggled, and we did most of our learning in trial by error, which is not a highly recommended method to use.
One thing that we did find, we found some telemarketers that sold us 4 leads in our area, and they sent a gentleman to our area to go on these leads with us to speak to the doctors.
And that was actually eye-opening for us because it was our first insight into what another person in this industry did on an appointment. Up until then, we were just going in and doing what we thought you should do, which wasn't working really well for us. But when we got to go on this appointment with this guy, it was just eye-opening to us.
It was.
Really was a turning point in our business.
And I think it cost us around $2,000 for those 4 leads,
yes,
which we had to borrow to even do that.
Yeah.
But it was our turning point for us because now we could see what you had to do to go get a client.
Exactly. Then after we got going a little bit more, we noticed that people started calling us for help. They were interested in starting a medical billing business, and they were looking for help, direction.
And people would spend 2 hours on the phone. Well, we spent 2 hours on the phone with them,
right,
telling them how we got our business started, what they needed to know, and how to get going.
Right.
And we found that it just became impossible to keep doing this with all the people that we got.
We couldn't get our own work done if we were on the phone with one person 2 hours at a time. And also, it really wasn't working for them because they would ask us questions, we would answer them, but at the end of the 2 hours, they couldn't remember everything we told them. And they would think of questions they didn't think to ask us. And we knew what all the questions were that people had, so we decided to go ahead and put together a book.
So we wrote this book.
Right. Yep. And it's basically, it's going to tell you, if you want to get started in a medical billing business, what you need to do. The thing that really I want to say about this book is it was written by Alice and I, but it's written by people who started a medical billing business, who were the only workers for several years. We now have several employees, and we're glad we're not stuck doing everything anymore.
We've been doing this for 15 years now.
Right.
It has become a very successful business for us.
Yes, and we are constantly revising it as changes come up, but this book is written by people who started the business, are running the business, and are doing it today. A lot of the books, there are a lot more books out there today than there were when we started. But I find that a lot of the books out there today, the person who wrote them has some connection to medical billing, but not always ran a medical billing business. And unless you actually are doing the nuts and bolts, it's hard to understand what people are going to come across. Right. Now, it's not intended to teach you medical billing. It's not going to teach you how to fill out the claims, what diagnoses go with what procedures. It's more of a business book.
It's right. It's teaching you how to get your business started. You do need to know how to do medical billing, but this is to teach you how to get your business started.
Right.
We revise it regularly, and
it does give you some information on billing, but it's just not going to teach you how to do it. Go ahead and read them some of the chapters.
What we wrote about, we wrote our story, how we got started. We write about the internet, what you need for a computer and software, what other equipment you need, how to choose it.
Right, the clearinghouse. It talks about clearinghouses. I'm sure if you've looked into medical billing, you've heard the term clearinghouse, and you might not know what it is. We explain what they are, how you pick one, how you find one, and what the alternatives are.
We talk about understanding your value so that you can sell
Yes, that
yourself
is
to a
huge.
doctor, naming your business, getting clients, marketing.
Right. We
Marketing
do touch
is
on
huge.
marketing. Yes. We don't go into it. We have a separate book on marketing, but we do go into some marketing techniques so that you have an idea of what you need to do to get out there and get some clients.
We talk about paper claims versus electronic claims, whether you need a contract with your providers or not.
And the one that I love is the interviewing with a provider. A lot of people will say, I'm going to do medical billing. They get everything in place. They get their first appointment, and then they're like, now what?
Right.
So we tell you what you need to do when you've got an interview with your first interview with your provider, how to dress, what to take with you, what to say. We cover that in here.
Right. And we really feel that the medical billing business is huge and growing. That there's an aging population that's going to the doctor more often. Insurance companies are making it more difficult to get claims paid. You really need a professional dealing with the payments in order to bring in maximum reimbursements.
Right. And even with all of the stuff in the news today about healthcare reform, and at the time we're filming this video, it's still up in the air as to what's going to happen. But I still believe, we've had a lot of people ask us, do you think if the healthcare reform passes, are medical billing services still going to be a good industry? And we do believe that they will be, because there's still going to be insurance claims being submitted, and it's going to be even harder for doctors to understand, and it's going to be crucial that they get maximum reimbursement for their services.
Right.
So, if you're considering starting a medical billing business, this is a great resource for you to get started.
And we have lots of other books too. We don't
Yeah.
just leave you hanging there. We have books on marketing, filling out the CMS form correctly,
Right.
UBO4 forms.
if you need them. Also, taking your bill. If you start your billing business and you want to go even further, we have a second level book that taking it to the next level. And we also have a free forum available, and you can post any medical billing questions you have, whether they're technical questions on claims or whether they're business questions. And we have a lot of great members in our forum that help. I also go on daily and check the questions, and you can get some, you're not out there alone.
So good luck with your new business.
Yep.